Hello everyone, Rare Model Reviews here, and today we have the Master Grade 1 to 100, Unit 2 Full Burn? Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the heck you're supposed to call the alternate form of the Zephyrintus? Yeah, that's the reason why I just called it Unit 1. But anyways, going on to the similar fashion that I did the last review of the original version of Unit 1, we're starting off here in core fighter form, and then we're going to work our way up to the actual Gundam itself. So, as you can see here, it comes with a pilot figure inside, molded in gray. Did not bother coloring that. Did, however, line the beam sabers there, which apparently also serve as this core fighter's beam guns. For the thrusters here in the front, I colored those inside red. They are originally just all molded in gray. Same for these little side pieces here. This entire section is molded in white. I colored this gray and red inside there. Same for the thrusters as well. Those are just gray. I colored those in red. And I believe that is it for everything. So now that we are done here, what we're going to do is we're going to take off the lining here. Oops. Sorry. Gotta snap those off. Now, one weird thing about it is don't like go all the way in. It's like kind of not flush. I guess that's something they did to kind of make it look like the landing gear popped out from the sides, and I'll get why in a second. As there's these alternate pieces here, which are for plugging in that little hole there. So you see that it's just like a little poly cap and a peg. So as you see, these parts here that replace it are flush. But moving on, place that other piece there. We're going to move the gun barrels, which of course double as beam sabers there. Gonna move that little piece there for the nose. Oops. I'm going to swivel this piece here down. Ooh. I think I was supposed to wiggle that a little bit first, but anywho, move the beam sabers up. And then we're going to maneuver this piece around here so that, oops, as you can see, it's starting to look a little familiar as to what exactly this thing is supposed to look like inside the actual mobile suit itself. And I'm prepared this time. I actually brought my tweezers out, so this should help with this a little bit better. All right. Here we go. Actually, probably didn't need it now that I think about it. Oh well. Hey, better be prepared this time, huh? All right. So next up, we're going to, of course, get the torso. Going to pop that on in. Now with the normal version, you don't really need that back piece to snap into anything. This one's pretty good on, so. So then we're going to grab the body here and plug that on in. If you could make that on the back, those little pieces that opened up kind of slot into these little pegs in the back of the torso here. Kind of lock it in. So it should be good there. And of course, much like the original version, the cockpit here does open, or it kind of wants to open on its own. And you can kind of move these pieces open here. And I guess you're technically supposed to kind of open his cockpit up too, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off there. Oh, well, yeah, I can. It's just separate the mobile suit doing it. Yeah. So I guess you could kind of, yeah, kind of get it going. You got the tweezers to do it, so looks a little awkward, I guess, but get that on camera. So you can also kind of, guess, do that as well, but I'm going to close that up. And, oh boy, I think I might have loosened the body when I did that, but yeah, it's fine. So I didn't really go over it earlier, but yeah, the thrusters do have some movement there. Same for these booster pods as well. This go a lot of different directions, so that's pretty cool. Spin all over the place, really. So those help get you all kind of different poses with it. And really, you can see, I'll kind of take that back. This thing is not really flush. It feels like it wants to break apart on me. The connection here for the body is not the best. I think also the other one's to stand. But I'm gonna go into some articulation here. 5 minutes in. Guess that was a pretty big gimmick I got out the way, but as you can see, the head can go 360 for the most part. Some up and down. I mean, it's on a ball joint, so I gotta go all over the place. And actually, I'm gonna stop for a second to go into colors. I didn't really go into colors there, but lengthen the pieces ahead there for the Vulcans. This had a clear piece for the forehead. I colored that in yellow. Back here didn't have a clear jewels, but I did just color that in yellow. Looks decent enough. What else are we doing? I did a lot of lining around this thing. As you can see, like around the arms. These are stickers for this little piece here. Sticker for the face. Color the thrusters of these pieces on the shoulder there. As well as on the feet there. Color those in black. Can't kind of really tell because it's so dark, but I colored those in as well. I think that's really it for colors, really. But going back to articulation, yes. The arms here can go 360, move up right around that much, but that little piece under it can go 360. You get about actually, yeah, I guess you can kind of say it's like a perfect bend for the arms, not bad. Hands there, 360. Oh, and I also almost forgot to mention, I'll go into it a little later, but this little piece here can move up around there. It has a little bit extra articulation. I'll also cut that in right there, too, for the thruster there. The waist can swivel a little bit, side to side. Waist armor can go up here. Both individually articulate. This shares similar articulation to the normal version Unit 1, where this joint here is separate, but doesn't really do anything. It might as well have just been solid. And this thing really wants to pop off. Holy crap. It's not going to stay flush in there. Anywho, has this little ankle piece here that moves up. And one interesting about this is even on the leg armor over, it's kind of like new and stuff. It still does show a lot of different of the same pieces from the normal version of Unit 1. So you notice that's like this little ankle guard here, but kind of this stuff slotted over it. And then the feet here is really just a normal feet, but they have these clown shoes, I like to call them, that kind of go over it. And a lot of these older kits around this time, it has like a wide range of movement for the legs, but all this really does is make it unstable. So yeah, back armor here, go up about there. So it helps with a lot of back kicks you can do there. So not bad for someone of this age. You can see this backpack can move. So I guess you could do something with that, but again, all it really does is make this thing unstable as heck, being able to do that. I guess it kind of didn't finish the foot articulation, but as you can see, it's on a ball joint, so I can move all over the place and snap out. But now I think it's really time for accessories, so if memory serves me correct. Oh boy, didn't mean to pop that out. But you can open up this little piece here on the shoulder, and then you can do that to pop out the thrusters and reveal that one of them fell out. So actually I'm gonna put that back here because that looks pretty bad. Jeez. And this thing, as you can see, stuff really wants to pop out on it, which I am not happy about. Better off just poking it in, really, ironically. Hands, that's right. I didn't show it off on the normal version of the Unit 1 here, but it does have two sets of hands here. You have the fists, the closed fists. Nothing really to write home about, but it's there. So if you want to have it throwing punches, there you go. You also have the open hands. So, I mean, they're there. Nothing really to write home about. But personally, I find with these older kits, there's no need for any of those other hands. I mean, these hands, I guess I kind of didn't go over articulation, but again, it's still classic hands. The thumb moves on its own. You have 3 fingers connected, and the trigger finger that's not. And they always seem to do the job. So right here, as you can see, you have the beam saber just kind of pegged in there. One thing I do want to say, I mean, I know a lot of high grades and stuff do this and all, but I don't know, it just looks ugly seeing that little peg there, just like that, you know. I like the normal version of the Unit 1, how it had just a little tray type thing you just put on it. So as I said, Unit 1, I'm not sure if this is original or reprint. I'm pretty sure this is a reprint. So these are the original beams I'm pretty sure are supposed to come with it. And these are going to be what I'm pretty sure came with it. The typical beams you always see now. So we're going to go test and see which holds better. So the original beams, meant to put that on camera, but yeah. It was decent, kind of popped out a little bit, but for the most part, it stays on pretty well. So let's back this guy up a little bit. Putting it in the hand here. Hand kind of is a little loose and wants to fall out, but if you position it right, oh boy, if you can. Eesh. Yeah, for the most part, it stays in. Now we're going to try the other hand with the modern beam saber. Just so I can show that off. Yeah, holds in decent. As you can see, if you really look at it, it's not quite flush, but oh, it actually kind of popped out really easy. But I mean, oh boy, it more or less does the job, you know. So not the best, but decent enough. So we're gonna put those back on, and then we're gonna go on to the next accessory, which will be the beam rifle. So this is actually the exact same beamer from the normal Unit 1. The reason why I use this one instead of what actually came with it is I colored it in clear jewel here, and it didn't come out very well for the original version, so I honestly kind of just didn't want to show that off. And one thing I didn't really go over is it does have a little detail here for the, I believe it's called the Jew tag, which is like the little beam that comes out of here. It acts as like kind of like a beam bayonet type thing, but it doesn't have any effect part for it. But again, I just want to kind of point that out. I must have not put this on quite right because this hand keeps popping off. So let's see if I can get that on properly so this doesn't keep popping off on me. That'd be nice. I think it's on good this time. So anyway, just kind of course, put it in there. Yeah, hold it good enough. I already went over Unit 1, but this thing's articulation is too bad for you to really hold on to that little handle here, the extra handle, but again, it's there. Next, we have the shield. So, I actually meant to mention that, but it has like the little piece here where you can hold the extra energy clips, and you just store that right onto the shield. And again, if you're curious, this does come off. It has the same rivet, so you will be able to put that onto the shield. Now, you can put the shield onto any arm. As you can see, they both have the pegs there for them. So you just mount that in here, and voila. As you can see, of course, it does have the, I do have the decals for it there, UNT Spacey, and its designation RX78 GP01. Now, it also has a handle in here, but again, I went this over in Unit 1. This is useless. It cannot hold on to this handle. These hands are too flimsy. It will fall off, and you cannot have it pegged in and hold the handle at the same time. So again, this is just useless. It might as well not be there. But you can collapse the shield down here, as you can see. Guess I'll show it off, collapsing the other way as well. And why not? Mount it onto the left arm, which usually the shields are. So again, hold it onto the shields, no problem. And that arm, it's just, again, it's so limited with what you can do with this thing, and there's not much you can really do with it. Now, one interesting thing this thing can do, and I guess the normal version Unit 1 could kind of do it too, but it has alternate parts for the chest here. So what you do is you separate the Gundam here. I actually kind of got it separated from the core fighter, actually, if I'm not mistaken, unfortunately. All right, my ship came off. It's gonna be a bit of a pain. So we can get this separated. How much I wanted to connect from the torso. It doesn't want to connect from the Gundam itself, ironical. Might be able to do it like this. No, I need to disconnect the entire thing. Might have to do it off camera, actually. Might be a little easier. There we go. Had to use my tweezers, but there we go. So what you do is you take these pieces out there, and then you put in the alternate versions of them. Actually, I think I have this on wrong. Yeah, there we go. So you put those in there, and then you replace them with the versions here where the little vents there are opened up. And then we're going to once again connect it back in here. There you go. Perfect. So now, as you can see, you have the effect of the thrusters and the chest being open. And you can kind of reenact that scene from the OVA, where he kind of used the thruster to get away from Gato in his Unit 2. And I guess that's actually it for all the accessories there. So there's nothing left now but to do some size comparisons. So I'm going to say a size comparison because the only thing I really felt necessary to compare this thing to, of course, is the normal version. I do not have Unit 2, and I never will, unless they do a 2.0 of it, because that thing is terrible. And as you can see, it's actually a little taller than its original version, mostly because of the little clown feet there. But kind of gives you an idea of what exactly changed with this thing. So you can see the torso is more or less the same, they just colored it different. Having those thrusters here. They took these pieces off here. It added on those extra thrusters on their arms. Backpack's entirely different, of course, because that's what this thing's supposed to be. It's supposed to originally have looked like this, and then they just changed out the core fighters for the space and ground type backpacks because it got damaged in Ko's fight against Shima. Then kind of overhauling it, making it even better. Hence why it's called FB. But rambling aside, verdict for this kit, much like Unit 1, I cannot recommend the FB version either. I honestly would recommend Unit 1's normal version over the FB, surprisingly. Even though I like the way the FB looks more than the vanilla version of it, it's just really the fact that this thing is a bit more stable. It's kind of bland. It's super old and outdated. It's just articulation's bad. There's nothing to it. And speaking of articulation, I actually kind of never went over the waist armor here, but as you can see, it kind of go up and down, wiggle side to side. Get some legs can move like that too, but anyway, it's just like this one especially. This one's, I don't want to say it's a brick. It's just, again, it's bad articulation, and it's a little hand grenadey. You know, you already seen when I was trying to move around with the shoulder and whatnot. These wanted to fall off. It barely wants to even stay connected. It feels kind of flimsy and brittle, and I'm like afraid to even move it half the time. I just feel like something's gonna break. Actually, something on the shoulder actually did break. I had to glue them together, but I did a good enough job with the gluing. And it's just like there's a lot you have to do to, like, a lot of coloring, you know. Like, this thing basically feels like a big old high grade. Like, that's how bad the older master grades were. Because like I said before with this review, this is like one of the first ones they put out. Not counting all the recolors they did of the original Gundam and Zaku. This thing's like the third, fourth, maybe a fifth actual master grade they made, like a brand new, you know, from scratch master grade, and it shows, you know. So I really hope sometime down the line they do a 2.0, because if you ask me, this thing deserved it way more than, let's say, the F91 and the Alex did. Alex is a decent one. I'll eventually review that one. I have it, but just, yeah, try to stay away from this thing if you can. I'd recommend the UC high grade before, high grades before these. And shoot, I haven't seen them. The real grades of these weren't much better. They suffer from a lot of the same issues, which is sad. But I'm rambling here, so I thank you guys so much for watching. This is Rare Modern Reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys for the next review.